Hello, everyone, and welcome to our speaker series. My name is Debbie Levine, and I'm with the NCGR South Florida chapter. And today I am here with the magical Alexander I'm going to pronounce this wrong, Imsiragic.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, Imsiragic.
Oh my gosh. And I'm super excited. We're here today talking about his upcoming workshop. And the best news is that he is coming in person. Yay. So this workshop will be what we call hybrid, meaning that we'll have people in person, right, with us here in South Florida. And you'll also be able to participate via Zoom. Right. So if you can't quite make it, although Florida is lovely right now, we're having the most beautiful weather. But if you can't make it, yes, you can still sign up and come participate online. Also, when you sign up, everyone gets a recording, right? So whether you're in person or on Zoom, everybody gets a recording of this event. So the event is happening on Saturday, November 15th, between at 10:30, right? 10:30. So not too early. You have time to get up, get breakfast, whatever, and then have lunch with us. And then if you're really feeling crazy, you could even come and have dinner with us after. That's what we love about our in-person events. So what's our topic? Right? We are going to be learning about the fixed stars, and I can't wait to hear more about it. Alexandra is going to share some. We're going to find out who's this mystery man that's coming to talk to us about fixed stars, and how does this work? There's thousands and thousands of stars. Like, which are the ones that we need to learn, right? That's what we all want to know. And why do we need to know about these fixed stars? Right? That's why we have the expert here. We have the expert. So, Alexander, please introduce yourself. Tell us first, we want to know, where are you from?
Okay, I am originally from Serbia, from Belgrade. When I have even my school, my Kepler Institute there, I teach people there. But I moved last year here to Naples, Florida. So now I live here. So I'm really nearby, Then
Beautiful,
travel
right?
the world.
Sunny Florida.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. So, okay, so that's great. You've only been here a year, and we're so lucky. I mean, how lucky are we to have you here in person? Um, so tell us a little bit. I know you are the author of many, many books, and you've been doing this a very long time, but what was it that called you to astrology?
Wow, that's a deep question. I started with astrology in 1988 as a self-taught astrologer at that time. Back in Serbia, I could just study by my own. And then quite soon, I moved to Holland and I studied there. It was like a Vedic university that I attended to, so that was in Holland. I stayed there for over a year and studied Jyotish. I studied also meditation techniques and all that, but I studied Jyotish as Indian astrology. So basically, my big question was how to understand the difference between tropical and sidereal zodiac. So for me, that was the biggest thing to understand how two systems can work together. And once I understood that, it became like a foundation for the entire system of mine. And everything that I, develop after that is based on that understanding both approaches. So I'm using tropical system here. That's the language we use here. That's all fine. But the basic philosophy of understanding the life and also understanding how many things in our life are like we could say predestined, how determined they are, and on the other side, the free will and how they work together. Like, what is the consciousness? How you apply that to it? And when I use, for example, fixed stars here, I see them as a part of our development. A higher, to use fixed stars to really get the message of them, you need to be uh, open to development, to your spiritual development. That's why, right now we are using only like people are using basically just not many stars. And we have
Mm,
over 9,000 visible stars out there. So basically, no one would know how to even use that many stars. Even if you calculate all the stars there, they are all next, each star is next to each other. So they are all over. So the thing is, I think this is the astrology of future that we are going to use more and more stars, but for that we need to be more open to our purposeful living, because there is a deeper part of our life. It's not just surviving. There is a story of meaning, of deeper meaning, and the fixed stars are just about that. So in the work I have here, I will try to introduce that whole concept, how to use in my work, I use 720 stars. That's
Wow.
largest number you can get. I even had to calculate some stars, through because you have them just in astronomical terms, but no one has ever actually put them in astrological terms, like in tropical zodiac where they are. So you have them in my book about it, and I really had a deep passion to introduce that here because I need it for my own research, my own work, to know
Mm.
how to get the answers that are so beautiful, so deep. Because anytime you connect with fixed stars, you're connecting with your higher self, with your greater self that is greater than just one life. Basically, constellations are a story of different incarnations that are connected, that you have a same story. You're living in different lives trying to fulfill the purpose of it, and understanding that, that's actually the goal of, I think, not only my workshop but goal of probably all of us who wants to develop, evolve.
Right. Wow. And like, how did you realize, like, when you were doing your work, right, and you were learning all these different facets of astrology, what made you all of a sudden say, you know what, there's something about these fixed stars?
Actually, that's a really great question because I started my deep passion is a karmic and reincarnation astrology. I'm very much
Mm.
into it. That's what I do, and now I even have students all over the world. Even in China, I have a big group of students who are just following that part, karmic and reincarnation, because it's really sophisticated. It has the entire system, and the way how I see the thing is that we are way bigger beings than just one life. We are pretty much everything you see around yourself. These are just memories of our soul that we see there. And I was always seeking for that, how to find a way to connect, how to integrate all that. So, how to make your life working for you here, because everything that you see in your chart is you, but it also represents all the other people, everybody. So every single person you see is coded in your own natal chart. It is coded in your DNA. You have the memories of it. Every single person is in your chart. And if you're skillful enough, you can tell a story about that person watching just your own chart. You can forget all other charts because we live basically in a holographic universe. You have memories of every single person in you. Just as you have a memory of your mother, which is coded, you can say, "Oh, this is my moon," or that house, or this. So the same thing is with every other single person. So the thing is, once we integrate, everything starts working for us. So with the fixed stars, basically, the reason to do that, to go into it, was to understand the memories of different lives, because every fixed stars is a container of a deeper memory. I call it ocean of our memories, of soul memories that we have. And through every fixed star, you can actually see specific life, specific incarnation that is actually connected with you, and bring you some consequences or whatever was there. Some memories are coming here. So you, if you're really balanced, you can really integrate. And when that happens, you would see how things change in your life. Your life becomes not only more meaningful, but start support stuff, everything around you, thing start to support you. You get supported. Things work for you because
Mm.
everything is you. Everything is you. And if you can have that wide picture and
Mm.
apply that to your everyday life, things changes. So I often say, like, first book I wrote about my fixed star was the one that was the like book on karmic astrology, understanding how fixed stars are connected with our different lives and which star is linking us and what is the story about that. So that was my first book about it. But in order for everybody to be able to use that, to understand that, I published first book on how to use that in natal astrology. So I have three books on fixed stars. These are like a three quite large books. I can tell you almost
Mhm.
1,000 pages each of them, and they are like, but the and they are called Pillars of Destiny. This is my series of three books. So Pillars of Destiny 3 is totally dedicated to fixed stars in karmic and reincarnation astrology, and that book existed before those two
Wow.
interested in myself. And I was actually, that book was there, totally ready. But I first published Pillars of Destiny 1, then Pillars of Destiny 2, and then I published finally Pillars of Destiny 3. Because the reason to do that, to do all that, is to understand fixed stars as those that are connecting our soul with many lifetimes that they are talking to. So when you look your natal chart, you would see different information, different influences coming from different lives, not only past lives. Many fixed stars are connecting us with our future life memories, and that's so beautiful. When
Wow.
you get with that, when you see your greater purpose, anytime you connect with your future life memory is like activating a new purpose, new direction in your life. That's so beautiful. And also, you have so many paths of them. And when you integrate all that, higher being is activated. That means you're perfectly healthy. Things happens for you. You do your thing. I mean, everything comes into an order. Everything becomes normal. Just because we are not just one single little dot here who is isolated. We are just all of that. We always see different people. Listen, when I'm talking to you, you
Hmm.
are some planet in my chart. I would be pretty sure you are my Mercury. I have my so and if I would go with that, I would say, "Oh, hello, my Mercury," and then I would check the transits. I would check everything. So, okay, this is what is happening with that person. So there are techniques that you can even tell more specifically about that. But the thing is, we see our life memory, and I am always someone, some planet in someone's chart, and that's no doubt about it. So fixed stars are here to integrate that greater story to allow us to basically live a happier life, more fulfilled, like like you got some kind of enlightenment. That's how I see that when I work with them. So
Yeah.
I think that's the knowledge for the future. And I think this is where astrology is originating from. Astrology is not originating from the past. It is the science that is deeply rooted in the future. And we are basically just receiving that. And in the future,
Wow.
going to be like we will use all the stars that are visible. Right now, I made a technique, a system, how to use even 720 stars is like approximately 2 stars on every degree. It's like, again, it's
Yeah.
I mean, you cannot use
I
just
love
simple
that.
technique. Oh, this is like a conjunction and they are like a nearby orb. No, no, they are all over. You have them so, one next to the other. No, no, you need to have a system. You need to have a technique to see how active a certain star is in your life. So that's what I was talking in my Pillars of Destiny 2. And mostly I will be talking about that in this workshop so that one first can understand how to use stars, how many constellations there are. We have 88 constellations. No one has ever used that all of them, because in tradition, astrology was using, astrologers would use maybe 40 constellations because that was traditional. But the newer constellations that are, when I say newer, I mean like just 500 years old or 300 years old. These are newer constellations.
Right.
They were never they were never used in astrology work. So first I need to introduce. I had to introduce them to see the influence, how they are influencing us, to even calculate the stars where they are, and then to do the examples, to do research, everything about it, to see connection with different planets, how they work. So all that is basically written in a book, and most importantly, how to find the activity of the star, because it's not enough that the star is just close to your planet. It's not enough,
Right.
because every star, you would have tons of, stars.
Star is close to, right, for all the planets, right? We
They're
have
all
all these,
there.
right?
So
Uh, and
that's a new thing, and I'm excited about that. And I'm telling you, the greater understanding of it is, how does that connect me with my greater soul, my more of my lives, and how, what is the story behind that? That's one thing. It's beautiful to understand the story, and the second thing is how to practically integrate,
right.
so that you see benefits right now. And basically, all my work, when I do consultations, that's basically not one consultation. It's more like a coaching, and people are learning about that. And then they have certain exercise they practice if they are open to that. So then we see results what they did, and then you go and you need to create your uh, results in your everyday life. So fixed stars are like a guides to tell you, to see where this, greater picture of your life is taking you. It's very much part of a purpose story, very much part of it.
And so, can you just share with us? So, many of us focus on the planets, right? Like what's going on with the planets in our natal chart transiting. How, what is different about the fixed stars and how do they integrate with the planets?
Well, uh, fixed stars are fixed. Planets are moving there. So they're like a pillars. They stay there and they have their own quality. So just as planets are ruling the signs, so the stars are ruling the planets. So this is like the system. So stars are creating the planets basically because the planets do not have their own light. The light that we see on the planets is just a reflection of the stars. So
Right.
basically, stars are, giving the life and the light to the planets. So
Oh, I love that. Giving the life and the light.
oh yeah, and then they rule over certain planets. So every single star, you see, has rules over certain planets. So that's so. Sometimes it can be one planet, sometimes it can be two or even three planets. So that's another thing. And then stars rule over certain houses as well. So that's a very important thing. That's something that basically we didn't have before, but once you have so many stars, you need to figure out, depending, because some stars are very high on the northern hemisphere, some are very low on the southern hemisphere. So depending on that, you would see through which part of the sky, they would influence, and then you would get to know which house they would be
Mm,
connected to. So then you have the whole system to understand when you have your chart, whether a star is active or it's not active. It's not just
mm,
enough that you have a planet nearby that star. I will show you some examples. Very often people say, like, oh, they have some planet on a 13 degree of uh, Cancer, that means serious. No, it doesn't have to be. Very often it is not. It can be, there are other even bigger big stars and some smaller stars, but you need to find your own star. And
mm,
by finding your own star, you know what is your purpose, what is your story. So basically how it works, you connect your planet, planetary story, planetary memory. Typically
right.
you use the ruler of the ascendant, which is the most important representative of you. You connect that, you start usually from there. You connect that with a specific star, and then you just need to see which of those stars is really active for you, and then the story of the star. When I say the story of the star, I mean the story of constellation. So you need to understand the constellational story, and there are 88 stories there. So this is
Oh, that's fun.
there. So there are
Just
88.
learning the stories would be fun.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. Stories are like codes of what we see in one level. If you are, sleeping, if you are not awakened somehow, this is like a story of your fate. It goes like that. That's like a
Right.
story, like a movie. It goes there and you live according to that, and things just happen to you, whether you like it or not. On the other side, if you activate yourself, so there is a way how to do that. That's why I'm telling you there is a coaching important for
Right.
that. Then through every single fixed star, you get a purpose. You get something which is not just a movie, which is not just a recorded thing that is a story that just unfolds. It gets deeper meaning, and that's purpose. So
I love that. So, okay, we know that we're not going to be able to learn about all 88 constellations. We only have one day together, right? We're all, just as a reminder, this workshop is next Saturday. It's November 15th. We start at 10:30. You can join live or on Zoom. And we have basically the whole day together from then till dinner with a short break for lunch. But uh, what can you give us a little idea about the workshop and what we're going to learn? Like, will we all walk away knowing what our star is?
yes, yes. Listen, this is just one thing. You will find out what is your star. That's one thing. But the most important thing is you will learn about the system. You will be
Oh,
able to use that. So, of course, 88
okay.
constellations you have in my books. They are written, they're coded there. You can also read about them wherever you want. But if you find any other places, that's also good. But actually, that's one part, the system, how to use it, that you know how to actually read the chart, how to understand which star is actually there, how it connects with your greater purpose, or if you're sleeping, which
Mm,
is also sometimes case, okay, what is the story? And even you can understand what is the karmic reasons for that. Why is
right.
this thing happening to you? So one thing is to understand why, because you caused something like 10 lives ago, you caused something and
Right.
there is a manifestation, realization now. So
Uh-oh.
yeah, that. So whatever is happening, whatever is happening to you, however
Right.
it looks like it's happening to you, it is your life, it is you, it is not like something mundane, it is you. Even mundane effects, it is you again. So whatever you did sometimes caused you to be on this time, this place here, and that's important to know. So the other thing is how to actually come in balance with that and to make a change. Because if you want to make a change to activate, first is you need to create a balance into
Right.
yourself. And then you start living a purpose out of every single constellation. So that's like two stories. One is horizontal, understanding the story.
Mhm.
The other is vertical, understanding the purpose. Understanding, and the purpose means no need to suffer, never. It's just like you're normal. When I say normal, I mean cosmically normal. You're like just everything works for you, everything supports you. This is a normal way to life because there is a greater purpose. If you don't have any purpose, well, you are on the winds of karma.
Yeah.
Things are just happening to you. But
And I think with all that's going on in the world right now, I think people are really looking for that sign. They're looking for purpose. They're looking for to really understand that. Um, So I know everybody is dying to know, like, they want to know what their fixed star is. And I know we can't tell them here. They got to come to the workshop to find that out, right? Because we're going to learn in the workshop. But what is your fixed star?
yeah, my fixed star is the one a little star from constellation Dorado. Dorado is known as a goldfish. This is one of the newer constellations that was discovered on the southern sky. And when you calculate the how powerful that star is, how it's influencing you, it tells you how does it work. So the very important story about that star is that basically, it says that the fish, that this is the fish that can go not only upstream, but actually can go on a top of a waterfall. So there is a waterfall, and that fish was capable of going up there. So that's
Wow.
why it was like a really, and there is a story about it, like how that, the challenge was created for that fish. Can the fish can make it? So And when I read the story about that, and then I translate that into everyday like language, how would you use that? Because every constellation has its own story. Like
Right.
sometimes it's mythological story or stories associated with that, but then you want to translate that into astrology language, like how to use that practically if you have certain planet together with that. I was fascinated with that. I said like, wow. And then I was calculating, of course, in my chart, and I said like, look at that. Who would say that? Like I would always say yes. I'm generally a sun in Pisces, and I know there's
Oh,
my Piscean nature like that. But this kind of fish is a different one. Like there are different. You can even have a flying fish. That's also a beautiful one. There are great kind of these. Qualities of one fish because there are different fishes or
right.
fish there, so there are like each of them
Oh,
is different. So um, there are a few constellations that maybe we are not familiar yet with, but I'll
right.
try to introduce all of those. And as I said, the system is that we basically understand 88 stories, 88
Mm,
codes, and then to understand them horizontally and vertically.
wow.
Horizontally means like what is the story, what is the movie, what is the story that generally, if you don't do anything, is going to happen or tries to happen. And it goes into that direction. This is a greater story, greater stream of energy that takes there. But what is the purpose? It's another layer. So that's
Right.
another part, and then you start working on that, and then you start applying different, I would say, techniques, even like how
Right.
to connect with that purpose, with that mission, even something
Right.
like a mission in your life, and to make that. So, and the miracle happens, the moment we start connecting with something which is like, I would say, like a common denominator for many incarnations of us. When we find that star that unites us, that actually tells,
Yeah.
yes, that's who you are, no matter what role you may play in different lives, there is one key point that integrates all that. I think once you do that, everything comes into an order. So things starts, moving into right direction.
Wow, that's going to be exciting. So, I didn't even ask you what your big three are, but now we know you're a Pisces sun. What is
And
your
a Leo rising. I'm a Leo rising and moon in Aquarius. So
moon in Aquarius? And when is your birthday? Is it March?
March 8th, 1967.
March
I can
8th.
even show you my chart. I mean, in any of my books, there's.
Your chart's everywhere.
Yeah,
I
I
love
know.
that. March 8th. I'm like drawing a blank on so what degree is March 8th?
17 degree of Pisces.
I had this funny feeling that you were like sitting on the top of my chart. My midheaven's at 19 degrees.
Oh, there we are.
19 degrees. I don't know. I just had this feeling. I go, when you said you were a Pisces, I was like, I feel like he's connected to me. I think he's on the top of my chart.
You
And
see?
what degree is your rising sign in Leo?
Four.
No way.
Yeah.
My moon is 5 degrees Leo.
Wow,
Like
that's
we are connected.
woo.
Holy
That's
cow.
it. You see that?
I can always feel when people are like connected to me. Like I had one of my mom's surgeons, he was a Pisces also. And I was just like he came, like a gift at the moment. And I looked up his chart because needed to know. And I'm like, hey, also I think he might have been March 9th. He was like right on top of my midheaven. I was like, oh my God. You can feel these people.
Right.
Oh my gosh, that's so interesting. So, oh my gosh. So I'm excited. One, because you know, there's lots of stuff out there on fixed stars, but I'm excited for this workshop because one, you're going to teach us a method, right? And I'm a method girl. Like I like, as a process consultant, I like to know the process, right, that we're going to be able to take away from this workshop, right?
Yep. That's
And apply it. So we'll apply it first to our own charts and then, you know?
Of course, yeah. And once you start with that, that's I'm telling you, it's a kind of using new thing, new language, new tool because didn't we didn't used to use fixed stars. This is the thing. So we will maybe use them like few stars so that we are influenced under them, but not really understanding them and not really used. Sometimes we would use star which is not our star at all. You would just see this star is in the vicinity of that planet, but that's not what your star is. So you don't know. I mean, maybe that star is not active in your life at all. Sometimes you would say, "Oh, I don't know how this Regulus works for me. For some people, works for me." That yeah, because it's not your star. It's not connected with you.
Right.
There's nothing with it. It's not enough that you have only thing like planet at the end of Leo, so that you could say, "Oh, I'm on Regulus." No. So you need to find the star. So this is one thing. The second thing is understand stories. And okay,
Mhm.
this is the process. You learn, you read, you go with that. You start to understanding that, and then you basically start to understand how that story that you have how would manifest in your life. So how what is the tendency, so you want to go there. So does the rest of your natal chart support that? So that's important, or it supports completely, or it supports like 50%, or you go to till certain level of that, but you have some general understanding of the story, of the main story of your life, what you want. And then you adjust that according to other planets so that you get complete picture, where does it go. And then basically, as I said, the most important thing is what is the purpose? What is the
Right.
purpose of all of that? So you can understand that it started in that life, that you did that. That's all part of it. Okay, good. You do that.
Right.
It's interesting. It's important. But next level of it, are you ready to activate that higher part of yourself who always exists, who is always there, who is beyond the life and death, which is deeper than one life. If you can connect with that part and apply that to your present life now,
Right.
mathematics change, everything changed. So this is what we actually do. We apply something very big. I think that's what we use in astrology, and especially in this kind of astrology. You apply something really huge into your single life, into your dot. And once you do that, I mean, that's like everything is different. Everything changes. Everything becomes like, wow, oh, wow, great. Mm.
So what was like when you found out you were a goldfish, right? That you were associated with this? Like, what was that big like? Was there like an aha moment? Like, oh my God, this makes so much more sense now, as well as like now, like like what did you do with it? How did you apply it? Like you said, like the key is applying it, right? So, right, there's awareness, right? You became aware. Then this is I'm like a triple A girl.
It's
Awareness. Then you had to accept, like, huh, that's so interesting. That this makes sense. And then the last step, right? The application, right? The action.
yes. I mean, for me, that was a message just to understand. So I said, yeah, you see, I need to go on the top of a waterfall from down, and I need to go up. And that's like you do your own. It's not that everyone would do that. You do your own way. Never worry about any, you follow your stream. And sometimes, even the book, you will see the book is different. That book is its own system there, and especially Pillars of Destiny 3, as I'm telling you. I think I have a few copies, so I'll bring that. It's like
Oh, good.
really understanding, like, all these lives,
Right, right.
every single, how they are connected, what's the story, how it works. And I said, like, yeah, if I supposed to go there, this is my mission. I go my thing. I do my thing. I'm happy with that. And I should not worry if everyone does that, or if you follow your thing and then things are
Right.
okay. So that means follow your way. In that case, however it might look like impossible or different, you follow that. and you can make it. And that's the thing, that you can make things that seems impossible. That's like,
Right.
and you just follow that. And if I feel good with that, yes, I do feel. That's how I do. So yeah, we'll see.
Um, and you mentioned that because I know you have a lot of books out there, so you'll bring some copies of these books so that people in person will be able to grab
Okay.
them. But
Yeah,
what
I
if
will
they're
bring,
not in person?
listen.
How do they get your books?
I will bring some. I have one book particular. It's called Dragons of Solar Eclipses. This is the biggest
Oh yeah.
book you ever seen. It's a huge one. And I was actually, it was not my intention to write that big. I just wanted, to figure out all these solar cycle and eclipses and all about that. But then the dragons, when I was writing, so it's like, you're again finding a different connection with these cyclists, and that they have their own
Yeah.
qualities. We call them specific dragons, and that those dragons have their like families of dragons, and they wanted basically. So the book by itself wanted to be like that. So the book turns out to be huge.
Right.
Fine. Okay, if that wants to go that way, make it. And I'm happy with it. So sometimes, I allow that. When I'm writing that, I'm happy. I just do that because I like this kind of thing that's important
Yeah.
always somehow for me, and I feel passionate about it, and I do that. And then it turns out to be, the being of itself. So that's
Yeah.
something like, it wants to be that. So perfect. So I may bring you that book. I'm telling you, it's a heavy, it's like a 20 pounds heavy book. It's like a big one.
Well, you're driving over here, right?
Yeah,
Put
sure.
it in the trunk.
You'll see there.
Oh my gosh, that's going to be so much fun. I'm so excited. If you guys who are listening, if you happen to live anywhere near us here in South Florida, please, please, we're on the other side. We're the East Coast, where this is in, I'll say Greater Fort Lauderdale, because we're actually meeting at in Davie at we get a room at Nova University, so it's a nice setting, and a lot easy to get to right off of 595. So if you are anywhere near us in South Florida, I really encourage you to come in person. But if you can't, we definitely try to integrate. I shouldn't say we try, we do. We integrate all those that are on Zoom as well. We have you guys up on the big screen with us, and you'll be able to ask questions. I know everyone's going to have questions. You'll be able to ask questions in the chat. So it's going to be an interactive workshop. We won't just get to see Alexander's, magic little wizard up there. It will be interactive. He will be working with us. He knows that we're going to be looking at our charts eagerly. Um, and don't worry if you know nothing about fixed stars, because he's going to take us, right? That's going to be the first part of the workshop, you said, is kind of educating us on the fixed stars and what that whole thing looks like before he starts diving in and teaching us his methodology.
Yep, that's all true. So really looking forward to meet you all there. Um, I am always excited to speak in live with people, because the group creates its own feeling, its own consciousness, its own unity. So it's gonna
Its
be
own magic.
magic. Yes.
Yes. And then if you won't be live with us to get a copy, Alexander, I'm sure all these books are on your website, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. You can go there. Yeah. You
Yeah, and
can
your
see them.
website is, oh, it's your name.
Yeah, myname.com, alexanderimsiragic.com, and you can see the books. You can even peek inside. You can see like I don't know, 10, 15 pages of each of them, see how you like them. You can have them like ebooks, or if you want like physical copies, of course you can. So both
Well,
of
it sounds like if that one book is so big, ebooks might be a good thing.
Well, that huge book is the only one that does not exist in that form. So that is the only one that if you want to have it, there is no shelf you can put it. You need to have a stand for it. Something, I'll show you that. That's like, I'm really happy to
Oh
see.
my gosh,
That's
I'm
the
so
right thing to say.
curious.
It's a kind of, it's its own story. It's its own being.
Yes,
Even my, a library. So.
I love it. I love it. Well, think about it. If your other books of your Pillars of Destiny, 1, 2, and 3 were all one book, that'd be a big book too.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be like, yeah, like
Yes, that's nice that you broke it into
oh yeah,
three a three-part series for us. So again, don't feel intimidated. You don't need to know anything about fixed stars. That's what Alexander is for. He is going to be sharing with us. And if you do know something about fixed stars, that's great. But now you're going to get a new twist on how to use them and apply them in your life so that you can really get that, like he mentioned, that deep purpose, right? We kind of got an idea of what our purpose is. We can read our natal chart for that, use some of this, but this is going to take it another level. Right? This is going to help connect because sometimes like we get that understanding of what our purpose, we're like, okay, this is our purpose, but we stand there still paralyzed, like, well, what do I do now? Like, I don't really know where to go. And it sounds like the fixed stars, like understanding, is going to give us some more direction. Would that be true?
Yes, yes, Debbie, listen, it's not just to understand the purpose. If you understand the purpose, it becomes just too mental. You have it in your mind, but nothing happens. So the first thing is you need to be very happy as a person in order to be able to live a purpose, to have it. So I always say, first connect with your fifth house, with your house of sun, with your house of life and love, and you need to feel that. And once you do that, you go five houses after it, which is your ninth house. And ninth house is the house of your purpose. So this is just like, the fifth house is the house of your children. But if you want to have a grandchildren, you first gotta have your children. So you have
Right.
first your fifth house, and then the fifth house from the fifth house is the ninth house. So basically, purpose is always comes if you are happy. If you are not, if you don't find that, first step is you need to find that inner, you know, happiness and that inner, and there is a formula for it. I think it's so beautiful. So it's all that you do. How to find that first step in your life.
Mhm.
And I'm telling you, fixed star is the upper part of your life. It is like more luxurious part of your life. It is like one with a purpose. If you really use the fixed stars completely. If not, it's going to be a story that tells you your life, where you go, fine. But
Right.
the same thing is with astrology. You can have astrology that influences you, like things are happening to you in everyday life, or you can be the one who is like, um, living that on a higher level. And that's what think when I say purpose. Purpose is the ninth house, and this is more luxurious way of living, in every sense of it.
Yeah.
It's something like, which is life for, not just surviving, not just that part. There is something
Right.
really that everything supports. Universe is happy. Everything is happy when you are on that path. But first thing is your inner happiness. That's your like how to say it's your starting point. So
Yeah.
yeah, we'll talk about all this and see how to achieve these and how to go. But depending on the group, of course. If you have guys those kind of questions, I'll be very glad to, talk about it. But I have my direction and intention to introduce you to fixed stars. But anything around that, how to come, yeah, if the group wants that, yeah, we'll have it.
Perfect. All right, everyone. It's November 15th. We open the doors at 10 and we get started at 10:30 for a fun-filled day. So you could join. This is for members and non-members. So just FYI, but we hope that if you are not a member, that you come and join and become a member of our chapter here in South Florida. But the event is open. Again, it is a hybrid event in person and on Zoom, and it is open to members and non-members. We welcome everyone. So, all right. Well, thank you so much for your time, Alexandra. And I can't wait to get to see you again, right? It's been a little bit of time. So, all right, everyone. Somewhere below there's a link so that you could sign up. We hope to see you there. Ciao, ciao.